Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Excited to share with you this Seiko SARG009. This model is really hot right now. I mean, it's very popular. They're getting harder to find. It's been recently discontinued by Seiko. So the prices are climbing up. You know, they're hard to find under $500 now. And I remember a day when you could get them for about $300, $350. And so, I mean, I'm fortunate to have one here in hand that I can share with you my thoughts before they become too difficult to source or too expensive. So this is a 40mm wide field style watch, JDM watch from Seiko. It's got the automatic 6R15C movement in the back, the same movement that you get in the SARG, the Sumo, and a number of other Seiko watches. And it's got really interesting, overly large, even Arabic numerals. So it's a really interesting design, and I can see why it's becoming a cult classic. It's an attractive little package here. Now, you'll notice I don't have it on the factory strap. I did put it on this Horween shell Cordovan, this black leather that I have with the tack stitching. I just thought it set the watch off really nicely. I like the aesthetic. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the factory bracelet. And that's kind of the thing with Seiko, is their bracelets, their stock bracelets, they're not terrible, but they are not as awesome usually as the rest of the watch. And I feel that that's the case here with the Sarge. You've got an oyster style, you do have a milled clasp, you do have 2 micro adjustment holes, and you do have pin and collars. So I mean, it's pretty standard stuff from Seiko, but I wasn't really impressed with it. So I took it off the bracelet and I put it on this aftermarket leather, which I do prefer. So let's take a look at the watch. Let's get up close. The dial, highlight of the watch, I think. It looks flat black in most lights, but once you get it in sunlight, some harsh direct light, you'll notice it's actually a very deep chocolate brown, and there's this ever so slight sunray finish to it. So it's actually kind of interesting how they do that. And you'll notice that the markings are very thick printed in Seiko's Lumibright. So you get everything that you would expect from a Seiko watch at night. I mean, it glows super bright, lasts for a long time, and is just so much fun. The Swiss can't do it like the Japanese can do it, and for the lume department, that's for sure. So this has excellent lume. If we look at the handset, you'll notice that they're not silver tone. They're kind of like a gunmetal finish, kind of a muted finish, and I think overall works well with the field aesthetic of this watch. And then if you also look at the minute track, they've got micro hash marks in between each of the minute or second markings, and they're also in that kind of slightly gunmetal muted tone. And I think from afar you can't really tell that they're there. You get in close, those come to play. And I like that little detail. I also like that the logo is applied and brushed in Seiko Silvertone. So overall the dial is just, I think, really attractive, very simple, and highly legible. I like that the date wheel is also matching the dial in black. So that's my favorite part about the watch. You can see it under this domed sapphire crystal. You get some good distortion from extreme angles on the side. I do have to note though, there is no anti-reflective coating. So, you know, if you're outside, you're in the right light, you almost can't read the dial because there is so much glare and reflection coming off of that domed sapphire crystal, as you can see here from these drop-in videos. So I think Seiko could definitely improve this if they put AR coating on, at least on the underside, a couple layers. Because let's remember, this is a field style watch more than a dress styled watch. So enhanced legibility, I think, especially with the big, large numbers, would be an added benefit. So I'd like to see AR coating. This does not have it. Now, if we look at the back, you'll see this is Seiko's 6R15C movement in a Hardlex exhibition case back. One thing to note about the 6R15 movement, I like them. I think they're a good movement. They're a 3 Hz movement. They're completely in-house. They have the Sprawn hairspring and mainspring. And I've found from having multiple 6R15s that they're very accurate if they're fully wound. if they're operating on a high power reserve. But you let them dwindle, and these things have about 50 hours, and they're running on the lower ends of the power reserve. They really kind of become sporadic, and the accuracy can really go off by 20-30 seconds per day, which I don't find acceptable. So you'll hear other reviewers and other things online saying how great the 6R15C movement is because it has such a big power reserve. I think it's kind of silly because I can't enjoy the long power reserve because I'm sacrificing accuracy on the timekeeping. So overall, for the price point, I like the movement. I think Seiko could tinker with it a little bit, get the positional variance on the lower power reserve a little bit better, and I would be a much larger fan of the movement than I am. But for this watch, I'm happy with it. Overall, I think it's a great watch from Seiko. I love how versatile it is. I like the aesthetic, and I think it's to become really popular. I think this is just going to continue to rise in price and be harder to find in the future. So if you can find yourself one at a good price, I don't want you to overpay because these are getting popular. I'd suggest picking one up because it's a cool model and it's not going to be around, at least readily available, for very much longer. So let me know what you guys think. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you enjoy this Sarge, and give me a dislike if you did not enjoy it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.